This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Aaron Carranza. Aaron, after that, we're going to move to these calls. The call screen is filling up. Let's take a call right now from Christopher from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Christopher, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I have a story to tell.
Go for it.
And a question to ask, both. Okay, so my name's Christopher West. I am originally from New York. I moved to the state of Virginia, and I got married. Me and my wife had a total of 5 kids. My kids are very active. At the time of removal, my kids were, they were very young, 5 and 6 years old. And my son had, they were active. They played on the steps. My son fell and injured himself. Fell down the stairs. He had a knot on his head. The next day, we took him to the doctor to make sure he didn't sustain a concussion. We get a call from DSS that our kids, we have to report and bring all of our kids to their office before removal. And then they said that I had punched my son in his eye. That was the reason. So this happened, I think, like Thursday. That Friday, I was arrested and charged with assaulting my son. And I've never abused my kids, never abused my wife. So I'm trying to make a long story short. It went from the process of all of the kids being taken out of the homes. They didn't give us enough time to find a proper place for them to go. My wife was pregnant at the time with the 5th kid, and they actually let me come back home for her to have the baby. When she had the baby, they came to the hospital and took the baby from her, and then gave her the option of if I left the home, she can get my daughter back, which I did. And I have not seen my kids since 2018. I've hired a lawyer, spent thousands of dollars, I think $13,000. And we fought, and our last court date was in April, and we lost. And they put my kids up for final adoption. So my question is, of course, there's more details to the story, but I'm just trying to make it short. But my question is, do I keep fighting or do I give up? Because it's very hurtful. Like I've become homeless because of this situation. Had to fight to get myself back together, and it's just been a battle for the last since 2018. It's been a hard struggle for me, and I'm still trying to fight. But like, what do I do at this point? Like, being that they're up for adoption permanency.
Well,
is there any hope?
Christopher, I don't know all of the details, but it's my general advice: you never give up.
Okay.
Right.
But
we're talking about
it's very stressful. Right.
That I know. And sometimes stressful situations call for you to back away from litigation. I understand that. I learned that in the 3rd year of law school. Sometimes you have to tell your clients to back away. But now here's the big but. We weren't talking about losing your kids. We're talking about financial issues. And,
right.
For most people in life, I won't say all, but for most, their kids are probably the number one thing in their life. Number one. It's not even a close call. So I would just generally say don't give up, but it's something that you should speak to your lawyer about, something that you should speak to, your religious leader about, something that you should speak to your family about. I hope your children are with relatives. Are they?
No, they're not. No, they're in with adoptive parents. They are separated. My wife, she has the daughter. They allowed her to keep her, being that I'm not there. But my other 4 kids are in 2 separate homes, and I have no idea what's going on with them at all. I have not seen them since 2018. Me and my lawyer have pleaded with the courts to at least allow visitation. And nothing. Like, it seems like this is Amherst, Virginia. It seems like the judge, the lawyers, DSS are all in cahoots with each other, and they with this matter being so serious, I mean, they're in the court laughing and joking around like it's nothing to them. It means nothing to them, to have families ripped apart.
Okay, I hope you have. I hope you have a pen and a piece of paper, because I'm about to tell you something. Okay, so number one, and if you've listened to this show before, you've heard me say this many times, and I tell this to people and they don't do it. Right. Department of Health and Human Services in Washington, D.C., you need to file a complaint, because there's a few things that you've said about your case that I believe violate some of the federal regulations. Okay?
So it's Department of Health and Human Services?
Right. You need to file a complaint with the department. The other thing that you should consider, and talk to your attorney about this, file a complaint for the violation of your civil rights with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. And most civil rights divisions throughout the country now have little CPS divisions that deal nothing with CPS cases, because, believe it or not, so many people are making complaints about social workers and about this system violating their rights. And as an American citizen, or as a person living in this country, you have the right, for your civil rights to be protected, especially, regarding your children. I don't know if you know this, but the Supreme Court of the United States says being a parent is one of the most important civil rights you can have. It tops like freedom of speech and freedom of religion.
Right.
So consider that.
And the thing is, all I have to do is just go in and file for the complaint, right, with them.
Right. You can do it online. There's somebody just posted on one of the Facebook pages. It says her name is Valerie Elizabeth Donald. I have a civil rights meeting on Zoom on the 20th. So I'm going to assume that Elizabeth did follow my recommendation and file a complaint. And by the way, I do know of a very specific case where a complaint was filed, and it, positive things happened, like the mother and the grandmother got the child back.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for them.
They do a separate investigation. They do a whole separate investigation.
And that's what I want to be done, because there was no Mr. David, there was no investigation done. They just came and took they had us bring my children to them. So they basically just came and stole my kids from me. Right. No investigation. They didn't care that my son injured himself. It went from him being injured to me abusing my wife. They wanted my wife to say that I abused her. Never
2 minutes.
Put my hands on her ever. And it just became lie after lie. And this all was brought up in court for the final hearing, and the judge just did not hear anything. My kids even told the judge that they wanted to come back home. And he just he wasn't hearing anything that was going on.
Listen,
he sided with DSS.
Okay, so Christopher, there's one other thing I want you to do. And I want you to call into our show on Thursday. We do a live stream on several Facebook and a YouTube channel. You can go to a YouTube channel. It's called CPS Strategy Consultant, Attorney Vince Davis. So just search that on YouTube. And I want you to...
Consultant.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you can call my office and give me your name and telephone number, you can call tonight. There's somebody there 24/7. And I'm going to have the co-host of that show, her name is Amanda Cisco, call you. Amanda lives in Virginia, and she has a Virginia CPS case. So we might be able to get some synchronicity there. Hey, Christopher.
Amanda Cisco.
Amanda Cisco.
Okay.
Christopher, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for sharing with us. And maybe you can call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update. Okay? This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win, and we'll be right back after these messages.